Hey everybody, thanks for joining me today. Getting the old camera set up. I'm gonna do some grinding on that hammer drift that I made. I make sure I always wear my safety protection, especially around the grinder. So I would definitely suggest that ear protection and stuff for your lungs. Um, I was considering just using this drift straight off the forge or straight out of the forge. Just dressing this end piece where I'm gonna hit it with a hammer. But then I was looking at it and I'm like, there's a couple sharp edges, I'll take that. And then one thing led to another, so I was grinding for probably like almost 20 minutes. So I cut the video in half and sped it up, make sure that it wasn't quite as boring as it could have been. I do have some forging videos coming up, but I figured this might be important, watching how, even these cheaper grinders, if you're just starting out and don't want to fork over, 16, 24, $3,200 on a grinder, that these cheapy ones, they'll do it. You just can't lay into them as hard as you can some of the other ones. It was really important to make sure that the handle portion, which is the part I'm working on right now, is at least somewhat comfortable. I'll be wearing a glove when I'm holding it, probably 99% of the time anyway, but just taking off some of the rough spots from the forge and then rounding the edges that are going to be in the hammer itself are very important. Using the wheel there, and a lot of these more expensive machines, they have all these different wheels and stuff you can use on it. And I watched another YouTuber at one point, and they pretty much said, hey, look at all this extra stuff that my machine has, and they cut the top part off their grinder so they could access the smaller wheel. And I didn't go to that extreme, but I do use that bottom wheel when I'm working on stuff to get a radius every now and then. Yeah, I'm checking to make sure that the one sides are flat, the other sides are rounded, getting rid of sharp corners. I do start standing it up vertically, trying to make sure that it's an even taper as well. One thing with working with that press, I learned very quickly that the press is only as good as the person who's using it. So I have some things to learn with a hand hammer still, but it's nice to have the tools to get stuff like this done a little bit quicker. Yep, I'm making sure the end, when I go to knock the billets off, the part I'm going to be hitting on the anvil itself to knock it off will make sure it's nice and rounded, doesn't have any sharp edges to where, it'll mark up the top of my anvil. And I'll probably use the upsetting block with this new drift, since this new drift feels a lot harder than the 1045 drift I made in a previous video. My 1045 drift is very mushroomed at the bottom from where I've been hitting it. On the top of it, where I hit it with the hammer itself, also mushroomed very quick. So this is that axle shaft I talked about before. It was out of a 3/4 ton Chevy Suburban. And I asked on one of the groups I'm part of, and they said, well, it would be very funny if it was also 1045. Other people assured me that since it's a newer truck, that it is not 1045, but it does seem to be a lot harder. It seems like it's a 41 series, so 4140 or something like that. Somebody did say it's like a 4140, but it is a special blend by Chevrolet, so we'll see. If it doesn't turn out as well, then I'll maybe order like an H13 or something like that, and you guys might see another video yet again of me making one of these drifts. Here I am trying to make sure my taper's even. And overall, for the first drift I made straight off the press itself, with a little bit of hand hammering, it was nice to actually have that skill practiced a little bit. I'm sorry I got in the way of the camera a little bit here and there where you couldn't see any of the grinding I was doing whatsoever. Yeah, the taper is pretty important. At least try to make sure it's nice and even. So when you make that hammer eye shape, that the shape is nice and equal all the way on both sides to make a nice hourglass. That'll make sure that when you put the handle in, that it's proper. That the wedge takes and everything else. And we'll also be testing that here on this channel, so if you want to see that, it will be here eventually. It does take me some time to make videos, but I will get to it eventually. But yeah, so I'm towards the end, guys. I didn't get it super clean, but it should be clean enough for me to use. So hopefully you guys like this video. It's kind of a boring one for just being a grinder video and without having any forging and stuff in this one, but I do have a tong video coming up. So please like, share, subscribe. Let me know some other tools you might want me to make, because I'm making some drifts and some hammers. Tongs is my biggest one, because I hardly ever have the right size for the stock that I have. So for my hammers, I'm making a set of pickup tongs. Hopefully in the next video, I'm going to split it up into sections and we'll go from there. But pickup tongs are very nice for picking up billets and being able to maneuver them a lot. So we'll see if they work well under my press after I get it done. But until next time, like I said, please like, share, subscribe. Hopefully you guys have a good day.